Hi guys, welcome to Lighthouse Intuitive Tarot. My name is Julie and this reading is collective. It's a collective energy reading for all signs. So we're just tapping into the energies that are most present here on April the 24th of 2023. Now, if this reading finds you at a later date, just know that you're probably being called to something within the message at a later time. Energy is fluid, so the date is really kind of the least important part of the reading itself. So thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your energy. I like to start with an oracle. The decks are pre-shuffled and I meditate on the decks and the energies, that are in the collective. We've been getting a lot of repeat messaging, so that for me is just showing consistency in what it is that I am picking up and sort of meant to relay forward. And so we'll see here what comes out today and how it ties into the messages that we've been receiving sort of earlier in the week and the way that things are shifting. All right, Spirit, what do you want to show us for today, April the 24th? They're saying no rush. So it'll be interesting to see what actually comes out here, because as you can see, things are slow to jump. So that's okay. Yesterday we were talking about how busy is kind of a human predicament. It's not something that applies to our spiritual nature. And so, the scheduling of a day can involve, there it is. Okay. Oops. They said don't drop the deck like that because they like the bottom. Okay. Interesting. Sure. Okay. So that's boundaries is on the bottom of the deck, and on the top of the deck we have Imrama. Where are you being called to journey to? So Imrama, this card actually is one that I am less familiar with. So I am going to look into the book for it because I want to relay the information accurately. 98. Let's see here. So Imrama, where are you being called to journey to? The Celtic word Imrama means a journey of the soul, a voyage on which we don't know where we are going, but our soul knows the way. If you pulled this card, you're either being called on a soul journey or you are already on one. It could be a physical, ancient place or metaphoric. When we journey to places that our soul remembers, a shift takes place, both within us and to the planet as well. Again, because energy is fluid. You're being called to journey to a place that is sacred to your soul. Perhaps it is to journey to the world's sacred sites, or called to cross the country, climb a mountain, lie on the desert floor, or drink from an ancient well. There are places to see and old friends to meet. I see spontaneous pilgrimages in your future. If a physical voyage isn't possible, journey through the portal of your heart. Follow the invisible soul trail and be willing to explore. Maybe read a book or watch a movie about a sacred time or a sacred place. Or perhaps you're being called to study an ancient lineage or body of work. Whatever your circumstances, your soul is ready to journey deep. Wow, beautiful. So this is very much speaking to the energies that we have touched upon in the last few days. The new world, the new earth that we are collectively bringing into being with our uprising energies. So this soul journey, it's going to be individual, right, for all of us. And in the past days, we've been speaking about the importance of grounding into self and allowing the quiet places within self to find their voice, and allowing that authenticity within ourselves to start to really seed and rise up and be honored and be celebrated, and very importantly, to be expressed forward, because those are gifts of soul and self that are in us because they're meant to be shared. And so there was discussion around the idea that a lot of us lose touch with that. And it's very natural because our human existence, our human lives, our daily lives keep us very busy and very distracted with the business of actually living. And more recently, I think we can all identify with the feeling that that's become all the more true. Like our daily lives are so filled with the need to gain mostly financial ground, I think, for a lot of people, because our world has shifted and things have gotten more expensive. Life has just gotten more costly. And as it gets more materially costly for us as individuals, it means that us as individuals, we have to figure out ways to create and generate more so that we can still live the lifestyle that we have been in. But the new world and the new earth is suggesting that these paradigms really are the things that must fall away, because they have kept us separate from our spiritual selves for too long. And it's to the point, we can all see that there are so many systems in our world, in our individual cultures and just globally, that do not work any longer. They're not self-sustaining. And the planet, the resources of our beautiful earth and our nurturer, our ultimate mother, is our planet. We can't exist without her. She is not in danger of not existing, of course. She will do what she needs to do to survive and continue. But we are endangering ourselves because the way that we're living isn't sustaining. So our soul journeys are going to involve each of us tapping in and checking in with what we are being called to. And it is a pilgrimage of sorts. It's a return to true home within ourselves, and sometimes maybe even to a physical place, depending on what we are individually called to. So I do travel quite a lot, and I happen to do it for work outside of this channel. But it's something that I have always felt personally, that in my experience of travel, there are nuggets of my own soul wisdom that I am kind of pulling back in. I'm attracting back to myself as I venture to these different places. There's an awareness of these places that I've just lost contact with, and so revisiting them is actually a way of nourishing my soul. And so, you may find yourself that travel either does a similar thing for you, or maybe travel has nothing to do with your own soul pilgrimage. Maybe travel is just, it's done on more of the metaphysical plane, where it's not actually you journeying in your body, but it's more of a learning experience. It's a research, and using all of the various, we're so lucky in this day and age, where we do have access to virtually anything that we wish to learn about. There's somebody out there teaching it, and that's wonderful. And we need more of that, and we need to use the power of discernment within ourselves to be able to tell, what's the truth, what resonates as true within ourselves, and what resonates as feeling supportive as well, supportive not just of self, again, but of if it's truly supportive of self, then it is also supportive of the planet, But if it's not supportive of our environment and, the community at large and the global community at large, then it's not truly supportive of us as individuals either. It's just a matter of time before it implodes. And, the time is coming closer and closer because our resources are becoming more and more depleted, and that is a problem clearly for all of us. I feel like I'm rambling in this reading. We'll see whether this goes to post. Anyhow, Imrama, where is your soul being called to journey to? Now, the bottom of the deck saw boundaries. So this says, where do you need to establish better boundaries? It's a really good question. It's going to be an individual answer, clearly, for all of us. Sometimes the boundaries within personal relationships are too fuzzy. Sometimes the boundaries within working relationships are overstepped. And this can be either in ways that people speak to one another. It can be in ways that people are being put upon and asked of, so sometimes, say in a work environment, maybe you're being asked to clean up messes that don't have really anything to do with your job description. And so knowing where to draw the lines and the way to do so respectfully in a way that honors both you as the individual and the external individuals who are asking of this, because there is a gift in when you are asked to do something. Being of service is as much a gift to the person being served as it is to the person who is being of service, because it creates ties that are meaningful. But there needs to be clear and respectful boundaries around how things are being asked, compensation around the asking, if that's applicable, and that equal sort of give and take, that reciprocity that feels, again, genuinely whole and wholesome and authentic and true, But if the individual is feeling burdened and depleted, or if the external parties are feeling burdened and depleted, then there's not a reciprocity. Those boundaries aren't being met correctly. So it's just a call to self, a call to alignment, and that is very much a part of this story, where your soul could be wanting to journey to is a place of better alignment, So perhaps, the biggest thing that is coming through with Imrama is that Spirit is saying, in order to achieve this sort of awareness of what your soul is being called to, it may require establishing some better boundaries, particularly around concepts that we've discussed recently, things like the human sort of busy disease. Possibly some boundaries in that would help set up some space, to take better care of self, so that we as individuals can align ourselves more accurately to our real purpose for being here. So that was a lot of intel there from our oracle cards. Nothing new. I know that those are usually pretty full of information for me as a channeler. Once I see the images and Spirit starts to come through with it, they really do speak volumes. So what do you want to add to here, Spirit, with that? This is the Tarot of the Divine. Whoop. And so the first card out is the Seven of Swords. Now, Seven of Swords is an interesting energy. It is a card of, it can represent lies and deceit, but it can also represent needing strategy. It can represent a card where, this clever little fox is, quite strategic in the way that it's making off with its, what are these now? feathers. Oh, no, weapons. Weapons that would be drawn against it. So it's actually strategically taking away that which could possibly do it harm. So it is like a sneaking and a stealing, but it's in order to really protect itself. So it is a feeling within this card. The energy of the card itself is giving off that feeling of needing to protect oneself. So again, this can tie into boundaries very closely. Just examine what your motivation is behind the maybe the Seven of Swords energy. If there is sort of that less, like the needing to sort of do things behind the scenes. What's behind that, and does it really serve? Page of Coins. So pages are the energy of openness and messages coming in, energy shifting, a move toward a new path. And in this case, it's the coins path, which is the material, sort of path. So pages are the Page of Coins on the heels of the Seven of Swords is really sort of about the willingness to embark on new ways of thinking and doing for your physical self. So maybe this is in the journey towards, where your soul is calling you to. Maybe I think that we are collectively being called to look at different ways of doing things on the physical. They say they want that. The Three of Coins. Okay. So this is starting out, exactly. Starting out this journey, starting from the beginning, really, and building towards the newer earth, building towards new ways of setting about how we choose to do things collectively as well, because threes are about community and doing things together. So as we step into where our souls are calling us to journey to, we will encounter more community-based, heart-centered living. The Knight of Coins, getting a lot of pentacles on the table here. All right, and the Knight of Coins is about slow-moving growth. So definitely focused on growth, but this knight is the least hurried knight in the tarot. So this energy, and it's it's really, I'm laughing because they're saying, look at the way the reading is coming out. So they're drawing the attention to the fact that the reading itself it has been slow to have the cards jump, coming out one at a time, and the messages are not coming out fast and furious. And this is very much Knight of Pentacles energy. So it's a slow, Spirit is saying this is not going to happen, it's not an overnight change. I mean, it is, the time is now. So the time is upon us that we are making many, many changes towards soul callings, establishing better personal boundaries, and moving towards better practices for our well-being. Because really, coins, as much as coins can represent financial, like actual money, it also is very indicative of all of the material around. So the idea of food abundance and the idea of health abundance, body abundance, our actual physical selves in a better state of wellness, and our planet in a better state of wellness, our water that's part of the planet, but you know what I'm saying. All of these bodies in better states of wellness. So this is a slow turnaround, but we are building towards it. We have the inquisitive desire. We have the beginning steps energy, and then we have the slow growth here with the Knight. So it's Spirit sort of saying, we have to be prepared for the big picture, the long haul. Oh, that's a lot. We can't take all of that. They're saying, yes, you can. Okay, so the Four of Swords is needing rest and regeneration, which we did get a card about that yesterday in Oracle. And they say that they want to take it from the bottom to the top here. So justice is this, so the rest and regeneration is something that we are due collectively. Collectively, people are due it because it's going to require more page energy, startup energy towards inspired action. The Two of Wands is inspired movement forward in partnership as well to bring this new earth about. And we've got to let go of this 10 of Wands energy. So now we're into all this Wands energy. 10 of Wands is really about having been so overburdened. And this speaks to what we were speaking of yesterday, and something that I'm being told to make sure I reiterate often, because it's a concept that we collectively need to start addressing, is that we are spiritual beings having human experiences and not just human beings having occasional spiritual experiences. But we have forgotten this truth. And part of what keeps us in the mode of forgetting is the fact that we're far too overburdened with stresses and pressures and expectations of ourselves and of others in the business of being human. And it's because of the way that our world and our systems are all set up. But the natural world wants to show us a different way is possible. Nature's crying out, and our souls are also crying out that we have another alternative way right in front of us. So spirit, the spiritual realms that are not here in the 3D with us are still with us, and they really, really wish to be able to help us to lose this state of being overburdened and deeply physically taxed. It is to our demise, as we can see, and we feel that, and we have epidemics of depression and anxiety and stress and, poor health and all these things that are byproducts of this energy right here, being far too overburdened with the busy human disease. Life is meant to look like the top, the flourishing up here. It's not meant to be this sort of depleted, exhausted energy. So we're choosing towards something new. Spirit is really encouraging us. I was going to say begging, and they were like, no, we're not begging. They're not. They're encouraging us because, see, that they have the joy of these experiences already. They just wish for us to as well. And they can't interfere without our invitation because we are sovereign individuals in these bodies having this experience our souls signed up for to be here. So they can't just interfere with our existence, but we can choose to ask them to guide us. And we can choose to request their divine presence in our journey. And they will very happily light the way for us as best as they can. A little tip, if you're working on self and you're working on inviting the spiritual realm more into your own awareness and your frequencies, and if you're finding that difficult, or if you're finding it strange, you're not sure where to begin, I've been there. Everybody who has moved along a path of welcoming their spirituality, their spirit self, their spiritual being to shine brighter and to come out more, has not known where to begin at some point. And the best thing that I can say is that it's mostly about being still, and it's mostly about shedding some of the busy and creating a lack of distracting stimulation around you, if you can do that. I know that that's difficult in our human existence, particularly right now. There's never been a time in history where we are so inundated with so much stuff, physical stuff all around us and in stores, constantly available for us to purchase and have and surround ourselves with, and visual stimuli right here, on YouTube. There's this wonderful side of sharing to it, and then there's also the danger of the overuse, right? So it's about finding some stillness. Spirit is saying, please look to nature for that, because nature is still, very still. So much of the natural world is spent in total stillness. And that is where the depth of knowing and awareness really comes through. And spirit, the higher realms, the angelic realms, when they speak, know that they don't tend to use language the way that we humans do. They don't, in my experience, in any case, things tend to drop in more as like almost one word, complete sentences. And we're so unfamiliar with that as humans. So we want more, we want it described and elaborated on and, all of that. And spirit generally drops in a word, maybe 2 or 3, just to get a very direct notion across. And then there's strong feeling around the whatever it was that they dropped in. So when they say yes, it's just yes with the power of 1,000, behind it. I don't know. I'm giving it a numerical value for lack of being able to know how to describe it better. In any case, I'm just offering this forward because potentially this could be a way that you're reached as well. And know that when you experience those types of things, and maybe you have experienced that before, that is spirit coming through. Spirit will often move through what we call gut and intuition as well. That is your higher self in communion with the higher realms, guiding your light in the direction that it's meant to move. And, as I said before too, there's no point in, berating yourself, being disappointed in yourself if you don't follow it. Because we all, everybody knows how engaged we are in our everyday human lives. And sometimes finding the time, our time is our most precious resource in a lot of ways for many of us. And finding that time is difficult, to know how to move forward on the thing that our soul is nudging us towards, or our intuition is nudging us towards. It's all really the same thing. It's the energetic nudge, that thing that we feel. It's difficult to know how to begin, but again, ask. They will help point the way for you. So thank you again for sharing the energy. My intention with the channel is to help people to feel uplifted towards it and to help bring spirit message, closer to our everyday sort of understanding. I hope that this is reaching people, and I hope that it does something for you, that there are messages within it that can be helpful to you on your own personal journey, your soul journey. Know that you're not just out there doing it on your own, though. We are all connected, and these energies are present because they're here within you, and they're here in the collective for all of us to feel and to move towards. So again, thank you so much for being here. I wish you lots of love and light and peace and rest and wellness. And we'll speak again soon. Namaste.